Amy Goodman. We're back with Congressmember Marcy Kaptur again. She is the longest-serving Congresswoman in U.S. history. Two last questions for you. Slightly off topic, but very much a part of the stimulus package. We just got this emergency email from a fellow Ohioan, Congressmember Kaptur. It is from the well-known anti-nuclear activist Harvey Wasserman, as you were talking about alternative energy. He says a $50 billion nuke power bomb is dropping toward Obama's stimulus package. The desperate, dangerous nuclear power industry has dropped a $50 billion stealth bomb, he says, meant to irradiate the Obama stimulus package. It comes in the form of a mega loan guarantee package that would build new reactors Wall Street couldn't finance, even when it had the cash that it wouldn't finance. He says it'll take a heavy dose of citizen action to stop it, so start calling your senators now. He says that the vaguely worded bailout in advance provision was snuck through the Senate Appropriations Committee in the deep night of January 27th. It would provide $50 billion in loan guarantees for so-called eligible technologies that would technically include renewable sources and electric transmission, but the handout is clearly directed at nukes and clean coal. Now, this is in the Senate section. What do you think of this?
Well, I have not read the Senate bill. They've just been drafting that. I can tell you in the House bill we have $114.5 billion for green energy, for solar, for wind, for geothermal, for biofuels. These are all industries we are bringing up here in our region. I happen to represent the nuclear power plant that in the last 20 years has had more accidents than any other one in the country. And so my own view is, and in fact there was a brownout a couple years ago because of the system this particular plant is attached to. And my feeling is until we can actually assure ourselves that these plants are operated safely, I don't know why we would want to reward this industry. I would be very concerned about that based on our own living history of what has happened here. This is a very dangerous technology and one that we have to exercise extraordinary responsibility. So that was not in the House version to my knowledge, and I haven't read the Senate language.
Finally, two questions. One is Judd Gregg as Commerce Secretary, and the other is, well, the question about you. George Voinovich has announced he will not be seeking another Senate seat. You're the longest-serving Congresswoman in history. Will you be seeking his seat in 2010?
Well, maybe I'll just say that in terms of my tenure, I'm the longest-serving Democratic woman. There are others, Republican women, who have served 35 years, so I'm far from that right now. But at least on the Democratic side of the aisle, I am the longest-serving woman. And we've just come through an election out here in Ohio. Our economy is in really tough straits, and I think it's too early for anyone to say that they are or are not running. Obviously, I think every elected official in Ohio who's a Democrat is looking at that right now, and we'll give it some time.
And as for Judd Gregg, who is stepping away from his seat as senator, tapped to be the third Republican in the Obama administration in a key seat as Commerce Secretary, your thoughts on him?
Well, the Department of Commerce is a very important department, obviously, and about 60% of its budget is NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. He comes from a coastal state in the Northeast, so I think that his knowledge of some of the issues that come before the Department of Commerce will be an asset, and we wish him very well. And the Department of Commerce, particularly in the Economic Development Administration, is very important to us here in the industrial and agricultural heartland. I would hope that the fact that he comes from a rather small state will not in any way prescribe his travels or his views about what needs to be done to help the big industrial and agricultural states to move forward economically.
Congressmember Marcy Kaptur, thanks so much for being with us. Again, the longest Democratic Congresswoman who has served in U.S. history.
Thank you.
Thank you. Speaking to us from Toledo, Ohio. And thanks also to Kathy Broca, president of the Fair Housing Center in Toledo, and Bruce Marks of NACA.com. That's the Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America, speaking to us from Boston. As we end up now